Welcome to Counterpoint TV, a YouTube channel for the humanities. In this video, I'll be presenting an arrangement of choral music by the Italian Renaissance composer Giovanni Pierluigi de Palestrina for string trio. A lot of people have never heard of Palestrina before, so before we get into the music, let's briefly look at the man behind it. Palestrina was born in 1525 or 1526 in the town of Palestrina near Rome. As a child, Palestrina moved to Rome for musical studies. In 1551, Pope Julius III appointed him Maestro di Cappella of the Cappella Julia at St. Peter's Basilica. He held that position for 4 years until his career was disrupted by regulatory changes. Pope Paul IV ordered that all papal choristers should be clergymen also. Since Palestrina had married young and had 4 children, he was unable to hold that position as a layman or join the clergy. That could have been a disappointing turn, but Palestrina happened to be married to a wealthy woman and was under no pressure to engage with his employer. His independent financial position enabled him to compose as much as he wanted, whenever he wanted, wherever he wanted. He worked at other lesser churches and chapels throughout Rome for about a decade and returned to St. Peter's Basilica until his death in early February of 1594. He was buried in the floor of St. Peter's Basilica, but over time, whereabouts of his tomb have been lost. To this day, the Catholic Church does not know where in the floor of the basilica its most celebrated composer is buried, which is just so fascinating. Palestrina left behind hundreds of compositions, including 105 masses, 68 offertories, around 140 madrigals, more than 300 motets, and at least 72 hymns, 35 magnificats, 11 litanies, and 4 or 5 sets of lamentations. In total, around 730 compositions, give or take a few. In his lifetime, he was well known and celebrated. After death, his corpus never faded into obscurity, which is a fate handed down to most composers of this generation. Palestrina's brand of counterpoint technique was codified in a pedagogical text by the 18th century composer and theorist Johann Joseph Fuchs, which is called Gradus ad Parnassum. This text was and is still essential reading for any student of composition and guarantees the omnipresence of Palestrina's influence. Bach studied Palestrina, Haydn studied Palestrina, Beethoven studied Palestrina, and on and on. Even in a dystopian future where AI is generating sacred music, the machine won't be worth its salt unless it's pulling data from the Palestrina style of counterpoint. Palestrina's music is truly devotional in nature. The music is grounded foundationally around Gregorian chant and exhibits characteristics you would expect of music which functions as a helpful aid in praise or religious contemplation, such as clarity, balance, simplicity, disciplined emotional restraint, no ornamentation, and minimal harmonic dissonance. The music I'll be presenting today is a 3-voice motet published in 1586 titled Jesu Rex Admirabilis, which translates to something like Jesus Wonderful King. Basically, none of us, myself included, are fluent in Latin, so I'll be providing the translated lyrics so you, dear viewer, can appreciate the message along with the beauty of the music itself. In my previous videos, I've presented arrangements which in every case so far includes changes to the score that I've personally made. In this video, I would like to present the original composition, which is taken from an 1894 German publication. I have hired members of an Argentine choral group to perform that. Afterwards, I'd like to present my arrangement for string trio, which will be performed by the Ukrainian string players that I've been working with over the last 3 videos. This is for the benefit of any viewer who has never heard the piece before. I would like to make a couple final statements. The changes I've made to the original composition are so extensive that this presentation straddles the line between being a faithful arrangement and being an entirely separate, albeit inspired work. You can be the judge of that. Did I correct Palestrina? Hardly. If I understand anything about music at all, I've absorbed it from Palestrina himself. In fact, I can remember in my college years trying to make heads and tails of the Gradus ad Parnassum myself, when I wasn't working in a casket factory, building horse stalls, or writing mandatory essays on Derrida or some other critical nonsense. I am truly an amateur composer, and if I get any better, I will owe that creative progress to the people about whom I make these videos. Have I made the music better or worse? You can be the judge of that too. So without further ado, let's take a moment to appreciate both the cultural achievements of the Renaissance and offer praise to the one who inspired it all, Jesus Christ.